Caged bird, Maya Angelou. A free bird leaps on the back of the wind and floats downstream till the current ends, and dips his wing in the orange sun rays and dares to claim the sky. But a bird that stalks down his narrow cage can seldom see through his bars of rage. His wings are clipped and his feet are tied, so he opens his throat to sing. The caged bird sings with a fearful trill of things unknown, but longed for still, and his tune is heard on the distant hill, for the caged bird sings of freedom. The free bird thinks of another breeze, and the trade winds soft through the siding trees, and the fat worms waiting on a dawn-bright lawn, and he names the sky his own. But a caged bird stands on the grave of dreams, his shadow shouts on a nightmare scream. His wings are clipped and his feet are tied, so he opens his throat to sing. The caged bird sings with a fearful trill of things unknown, but longed for still, and his tune is heard on the distant hill, for the caged bird sings of freedom.
Newsmen call it the Cuban Missile Crisis. Teachers say it's the end of the world. At school, they instruct us to look up and watch the Cuban cursed sky. Search for a streak of light. Listen for a piercing shriek, the whistle that will warn us as poisonous A-bombs zoom close. Hide under a desk. Pretend that furniture is enough to protect us against perilous flames, radiation, contamination, toxic breath. Each air raid drill is sheer terror, but some of the city kids giggle. They don't believe that death is real. They've never touched a bullet, or seen a vulture, or made music by shaking the jawbone of a mule. When I hide under my frail school desk, my heart grows as rough and brittle as a slab of wood that fails to protect me from reality's gloom.
Life is short, though I keep this from my children. Life is short, and I've shortened mine in 1,000 delicious, ill-advised ways. 1,000 deliciously ill-advised ways I'll keep from my children. The world is at least 50% terrible, and that's a conservative estimate, though I keep this from my children. For every bird, there's a stone thrown at a bird. For every loved child, a child broken, bagged, sunk in a lake. Life is short, and the world is at least half terrible, and for every kind stranger, there is one who would break you. Though I keep this for my children, I'm trying to sell them the world. Any decent realtor walking you through a real shithole chirps on their good bones. This place could be beautiful, right? You could make this place beautiful.
It was many, many years ago, in a kingdom by the sea, that a maiden lived there who you may know by the name of Annabel Lee. And the maiden, she lived with no other thought than to love and be loved by me. I was a child and she was a child in this kingdom by the sea, but we loved with a love that was more than love, I and my Annabel Lee, with a love that the winged seraph of heaven covered her and me. And this was the reason that long ago in the kingdom by the sea, a wind blew at a cloud, chilling my beautiful Annabel Lee, so that her high-born kinsman came and bore her away from me to shut her up in a spectrum in the kingdom by the sea. The angels, not half so happy in heaven, went envying her and me. Yes, that's the reason in this kingdom by the sea, that the wind came out of the cloud by night, chilling and killing my Annabel Lee. But our love, it was stronger by far than the love of those who were older than we, of many far wiser than we. And neither the angels in heaven above, nor the demons down under the sea, can ever dissever my soul for the soul of my beautiful Annabel Lee.
These streets I've walked 1,000 times, each with different footing and company. I think back to the hazy days where I was young, free, and careless, where the sun simmers on your skin and the smiles of your friends is the reason to exist. Happiness is no longer on my shopping list. Everything now seems so dull, like a machine I command and execute. No lovers to act as my parachute. I remember all the people I love and their own little intricacies. I wonder if they ever spare a thought for me, drowning in all my memories. When we ran from blue, or inhaled and flew, or simply lay on the grass with all the time in the world to pass, these thoughts worsen when I pass my old school. How is it my nostalgia's place of worship, but yet so cruel? Maybe perhaps my future won't be a monastery for my apologies. Because life is what you make of it, and once you know the flow, it's away from the old school I go.
My Big Fat Cat by Christian 2. I own a big fat cat, the fattest for miles around. Wherever there's lots of food, that's where he'll be found. He's really good at eating. It's a talent, I suppose. I'm sure if he keeps at it, he'll win the talent shows. I own a big fat cat. He weighs at least a ton. He couldn't run to save his life, yet he isn't much fun. His favorite room's the kitchen. I'm sure we all know why. He eats just about everything, so that's why, with a sigh, I'd like to tell you, teacher, I'd like to tell you straight, I might have accidentally dropped my homework in his plate.
He is said to have been the last red man in Acton, and the miller is said to have laughed, if you like to call such a sound a laugh. But he gave no one else a laugher's license, for he turned suddenly grave as if to say, "Whose business, if I take it on myself, whose business, but why talk round the barn, when it's just that I hold with getting a thing done with? You can't get back and see it as he saw it. It's too long a story to go into now. You'd have to have been there and lived it. Then you wouldn't have looked on it in just a matter of who began it between the two races." Some guttural exclamation of surprise. The red man gave it poking about the mill, over the great big thumping shuffling millstone. Disgusted, the miller physically is coming from one who had no right to be heard from. "Come, John," he said, "you want to see the wheel pit." He took him down below a cramping rafter and showed him through a manhole in the floor. The water in desperate straits like frantic fish, salmon and sturgeon lashing their tails. Then he shut down the trap door with a ring in it that jangled above the general noise, and came upstairs alone and gave that laugh. He said something to a man with a meal sack that the man with the meal sack didn't catch then. Oh yes, he showed John the wheel pit all right. This has been The Vanishing Red by Robert Frost.
Take this kiss upon the brow, and in parting from you now, thus much let me avow, you are not wrong, who deem that my days have been a dream. Yet if hope has flown away, in a night or in a day, in a vision or in none, is it therefore the less gone? All that we see or seen is but a dream within a dream. I stand amid the roar of a surf-tormented shore, and I hold within my hand grains of the golden sand. How few, yet how they creep through my fingers to the deep. While I weep, O God, can I not grasp them with a tighter clasp? O God, can I not save one from the pitiless wave? Is that all we see or seem, but a dream within a dream? A Dream Within a Dream by Edgar Allan Poe.
Apple by Brandon Mark. The little apple, there by itself, all of the different colors placed there for a reason. Red for the happiness, yellow for the sweetness, brown for the bitterness. And yet the stem stands tall, remembering the time when it was picked away from all the others. But still the little apple knows its little tiny seeds holds potential. For when the seeds are planted, they will grow into a great, big, little apple tree.
Freedom will not come today, this year, nor ever, through compromise and fear. I have as much right as the other fellow has to stand on my own 2 feet and own the land. I tire so of hearing people say Let things take their course. Tomorrow is another day. I do not need my freedom when I'm dead. I cannot live on tomorrow's bread. Freedom is a strong seed, planted in great need.
When I was 1, I had just begun. When I was 2, I was nearly new. When I was 3, I was hardly me. When I was 4, I was not much more. When I was 5, I was just alive. But now I'm 6, I'm as clever as ever, so I think I'll be 6 now forever and ever.
My Friend by Keisha Shepherd. I came across a fallen tree. I heard the branches whisper to me, "Is this the tree I used to know? Is this the tree I helped to grow?" A simple thing so long ago, we talked and sang. I loved you so, and still do even now as you sleep. I tiptoe around you, for you I will weep. Recalling memories so sweet, you and I grew together, our roots run deep, entangled souls of this earth. We were destined to meet, nothing can part us. I am you and you are me, my forever friend, you'll be.
Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both, and be one traveler, long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth. Then took the other, as just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear, though as for that, the passing there had worn them really about the same. And both that morning equally lay, and leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day, yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubt if I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh. Somewhere ages and ages hence, two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference.
Don't change on my account. If you're sloppy, that's just fine. If you're moody, I won't mind. If you're fat, that's fine with me. If you're skinny, let it be. If you're bossy, how rude, that's alright. If you're nasty, I won't fight. If you're rough, well, that's just you. If you're mean, that's alright too. Whatever you are, is all okay. I don't like you anyway.